Hey, good morning. This is Chip Wilson coming to you from the French Quarter in New Orleans, Louisiana. And this is something that if you're a tourist in New Orleans, you don't really get to see, which is to say, an old school courtyard in an historic building. We're at 1027 Charter Street in the French Quarter. And the French Quarter is an interesting place, founded by French-speaking people and a home to both free people of color, a large enslaved population, and of course, European population. There was a section of the French Quarter that was actually called Little Palermo because there were so many Sicilians living there. What we're looking at right now is the house that famed and very influential New Orleans guitarist Danny Barker was born in 1909. Danny died in 1994 at the age of 85. And Danny's career, in Danny's career, he played with people ranging from Jelly Roll Morton to Dexter Gordon and Charlie Parker, two of the most modern players of their time in the 50s. Danny also played with big bands and small bands, but when he moved back to New Orleans, he realized that there was a big part of the culture that was missing, or maybe gonna be missing soon. So at the Fairview Baptist Church, he started a band that later on came to include members of the Dirty Dozen jazz band, Dirty Dozen brass band, fantastic sousaphonist Kurt Joseph, the Marsalis, Wynton Marsalis, Branford Marsalis. All of those people came through this kind of amazing opportunity that Danny created. And what Danny Barker wanted to do was make sure that the music, the marching band music that was so integral to New Orleans and the development of jazz, that music didn't die. So anyway, here we are in this lovely courtyard, thanks to my friend Elliot. Just a super peaceful, lovely place to be. And let me just talk a little bit more about Danny. Danny actually authored or co-authored two different books. The relatively well-known A Life in Jazz, and then the lesser-known Bourbon Street Black, which kind of is a little grittier than A Life in Jazz. In Danny's career, he started with clarinet and drums, and a relative gave him a ukulele, and then he got his hands on a banjo. And after moving to New York City, around 1934, I believe, he took up the guitar, which is what he was known for. Back in the day when you were a guitar student, you were often started as a little kid on ukulele, then they pushed you over to banjo, and then as your hands got bigger, they let you have a guitar. So Danny kind of followed a age-old tradition there. Let me just give you a list of some people that Danny played with. His wife, Blue Lou Barker, a well-known singer of some of Danny's songs, some of which were kind of on the frisky side. Danny played with Benny Carter, Cab Calloway, Lucky Millinder, Jelly Roll Morton, Baby Dodds, one of the great New Orleans drummers, Red Allen, one of the great New Orleans trumpeters born over in Algiers, Sidney Bechet, who started on clarinet and became known as a person who played the soprano sax instead of clarinet, and lived most of his adult life in France. People that came out of the Fairview Baptist Church include Joe Torrigano, Dr. Michael White, Lucien Barbaran, who just passed away a year or two ago and worked with Harry Connick Jr. for quite a long time, Nicholas Payton, who I first saw perform at about age 15 on trumpet. Nicholas Payton can play anything. And of course the Marsalises and the incredible Kurt Joseph. What I'd like to do right now is give you a taste of some music that is associated with the time that Danny Barker was born and raised up in. So let me just see if I can manhandle this camera and get myself into view. And here's a little small guitar. Back in when Danny was born, and when some of this music that I'm about to play for you was recorded, we didn't have big guitars. We certainly didn't have Stratocasters and Telecasters. Most guitars were kind of on the small side, like this. This guitar was built in Louisiana of basically the finest materials. I'm going to assume that most of the people that play guitar that were my heroes of the early days had guitars that were, you know, made of the maybe possibly lesser materials. Anyway, I'd like to give you a little Danny Barker here. We're gonna have a supper. We're gonna have some food that's rare. And at the head of the table, we're gonna place Brother Henry's chair. We're gonna invite all the local big dogs. We're gonna laugh and talk and eat. But we're gonna save the bones for Henry Jones, 'cause Henry doesn't eat no meat. Some other songs that Danny wrote, that's maybe is one of his most famous. Another famous one is Don't You Feel My Leg, which Blue Lou, his wife, Blue Lou Barker, recorded. My favorite of his songs, which I've only heard once, is entitled Tootie Ma is a Big Fine Thing. Okay, I love that. But that's kind of old school New Orleans, where we named nightclubs the Funky Butt and that kind of thing. Anyway, I'd like to give you a song from Jelly Roll Morton that I'm betcha nickel. Well, I know Danny recorded this, in fact, and it's about the great original jazz trumpeter here in New Orleans, Buddy King Bolden, who sadly died in an insane asylum. I'm sure that his lifestyle and probably some rough experiences in his career led to that sad ending. But Buddy Bolden used to blow his horn so loud that he could literally call the children home. And one of the reasons why Elliot and I are sitting back here is because of Buddy Bolden and his fame. Well, now I'm a whining boy. I don't deny my name. I'm just a whining boy. I don't deny my name. I don't deny my name. I'm the whining boy. I don't deny my name. Pack it up and shake it like a sweet stable chain. I'm just a whining boy. I don't deny my name. Some people think you like to drink wine. Well, now, mama, take a look at little sis. Mama, take a look at little sis. Take a look at sis. Mama, take a look at sis. She's out there on the levee, doing the turtle twist. I'm just a winding boy. I don't deny my name. And honestly, most of the lyrics are just too filthy to repeat here. But you still hear them in New Orleans every now and again. My friend John Fole, who played with Dr. John for many years, does that song, Windin' Boy Blues. And he does some of Jelly Roll's original lyrics. And we have to be reminded that the Storyville bordellos were a place where these guys could play. And so therefore, the Storyville bordellos were a place where they were creative. And I know a lot of songs like that were played, and gradually those kinds of tunes evolved into, what we call jazz today. I'll give you one more little tune before we leave this wonderful courtyard. I'll give you a little tour around the courtyard before I go. But anyway, in 1929, a guitarist and singer named Richard Rabbit Brown recorded a tune called James Alley Blues. Some New Orleans purists insist it was Jane's Alley Blues, but I don't really care about that kind of detail. He also recorded a song about the Titanic. Unfortunately, that was lost, about the sinking of the Titanic. But anyway, I'm going to give you a little taste of Richard Rabbit Brown, who played here, busked here in the French Quarter. He also played on pleasure boats out on Lake Pontchartrain. Apparently he got around. I don't know where the rabbit came from. But this is an approximation of Rabbit Brown's guitar style and a little bit of James Alley Blues. Times these days, there's nothing like they used to be. Times these days, nothing like they used to be. Can tell you the truth, you can take it from me. I've seen better days, but I can put up with these. Seen better days, but I can put up with these. I had a much better time with the women down in New Orleans. Well, I was born in the country. She thinks I'm easy to rule. Born in the country, she thinks I'm easy to rule. She'd like to hitch me to a wagon, drive me like a French quarter mule. Times these days is nothing like they used to be. Times these days is nothing like they used to be. Tell you the truth, you can take it from me. Richard Rabbit Brown. I think Richard Brown maybe had a lot of children, I don't know. Anyway, here's a little videography trick I learned. If you take your iPhone and turn it around, it goes in a different direction. Hey, look at that, there was Elliot. Let me just give you a quick tour of this lovely courtyard because it's just so nice over here. These bricks were made over 1,000 years ago. No, not really. But I wouldn't be surprised if they were made pretty locally. Here's Danny's house where he was born. And nice little ground floor. Beautiful stairs. I'm pretty sure this wasn't here when Danny was here, but I don't know that for sure. Anyway, thanks to my friend Elliot Kamenetz and Laura Kamenetz, we get this opportunity to be right here in the courtyard of the house that the great Danny Barker was born in.